shots that almost no one out there should be able to hit.
Well, now he's missed his shot at the final.
Oof, too soon. Too soon, Jahar.
But on the topic of rails, we have Kilson and Cooler, and they have been hitting crazy rails. As you go ahead and look at that accuracy, Kilson is besting at Cooler, but Cooler's been hitting those rails in that last series, so I want to see a rail battle.
So about that topic in particular, Cooler, from the matches he did yesterday, he had more rockets in general. That was his go-to weapon of choice when they were playing his matches. And then Kilson as well, in general, was like the go-to. Actually, I don't know which one was his go-to, but his rockets in his match just prior when we played against Dehang was insane. On Corrupted Keep in particular, I'm thinking of, he hit so many hundo rockets I couldn't even count.
Yeah, great defensive
And I can count
rockets.
at least above 10.
Look at that. That's what it
That's
takes
the
to
same
be
pose,
a champion.
Same power pose.
Exactly.
And I know Cooler's listening.
Wait.
So,
Can we keep that camera shot until it goes to him?
tuck your shirt in.
Wait
Cooler.
wait till on his screen because he's watching the stream, right? And it's gonna go to him and he's gonna be like, oh crap, and he's gonna like sit up. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be a
Or he's
fantastic
not. He's
moment.
going to be like, yes, this is me.
You think he cares?
Just don't
That's
put his
your
hand down his
problem.
pants.
Yeah.
You know, that'll make it weird. But he's have a little bit of time, I guess, before he gets set to catch up. But let's start to break down this match because this is going to be, honestly, a ridiculous one. And I don't even know who I want to win because whoever plays against Raph in the final, it's going to be just as good.
The story of so many of these quarterfinals and even the semifinal is a player who is known for consistency versus a player who's known for moments of brilliance. But here we've got some of the most two consistent players in the scene right now.
And Kilson hasn't had a victory since November of last year. Cooler has yet to have a victory and even a really good placing. I get technically the medium marked land he did have, but it wasn't an international land, and it didn't include most of Europe. But he hasn't had that solid victory here in this game just yet. 40. I mean, he's looking comfortable. He's looking like there's no pressure on his shoulders.
You got to lounge out and just relax before you get
taps
into
it
it.
at the wrong moment. Cooler. We literally waited on him for like 3 minutes to see that. Even production was like, oh.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't know. It's going to be a close series, hopefully, but I think a lot of the...
There we go.
There we go. We're getting back into it. So relaxed. Look at that.
Is this a still
meditating.
frame?
I didn't know this was going to get so voyeuristic.
Did he pre-record this like in speed? Are we seeing this on loop?
Is this legal, what we're doing right now? Is this okay?
Don't worry. I don't think Twitch will ban us for this.
I think a lot of the old Quake nerds might want to see Rafa versus Cooler in the grand finals. I think that might be something of legend, but we'll see. Kilson's been playing really crazy, so.
I've really liked Kilson's whole attitude today. Like, during the games, he obviously gets really jacked up and pumped up whenever, win or lose a match. But when it comes down to the interview, he's all smiles, he's all grins. You can see, like, the tension just leaving him very quickly. And Cooler is, he's just a rock, unless you want to bring up,
Dwayne Johnson?
unless you want to bring up him
doesn't want to bring
totally
that?
failing in a match.
That's true.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about that stuff.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about it for his sake because I don't want to have to meet up with him after that when we do mention it.
Or
But
anybody
guys,
he hires.
Yeah, exactly. We do have maps finally chosen here. We've got Corrupted Keep chosen by Cooler. We've got Awoken chosen by Kilson, Runes of Sarnath by Cooler, and Blood Run by Kilson with Veil as our 5th and final map. And more importantly, our bands coming through. Cooler taking Nyx away from Kilson.
You have to. You just have to.
I mean, we saw Rafa, right? We saw his emphasis on Nyx, taking it out of Sirius, taking it out of Claws just now. And she is like one of those champions that you can be taken to the next level if you're that good because of her mobility, because of the Ghost Walk. And you can get so aggressive and passive with it. She's definitely one of the highest skill cap champions in the game.
And these days, you don't really get to have like a secret up your sleeve anymore. Like everybody's going to know from streams, from just, scrims. But I don't think anybody really appreciated what Nyx could bring to the table until this tournament. But now that we're into the semifinals, like everybody knows what's up. Nyx is too dangerous to have on the field if you're known for somebody who plays Nyx, and you just can't have that. Same thing with Clutch, really.
And that kind of worries me too, because if you are Claws or if you are serious, when you kind of use Nyx as one of your like staple picks to have that taken away, it's like taking Clutch away from Razy back in the day, or from Van Gur. They kind of start to fall back a little bit. But we do have our picks coming in for our first map here. It will be Corrupted Keep, and let's see what we're gonna have picked up here for both these players.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some more Death Knight play, and
could be a full mirror, really.
It could.
BJ and then Galena to round it out. And both of these players have PTSD from totems. Let's not forget. Cooler dropped on one himself against Claws, and then the Kilson totem earlier.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. And the funny thing about that was he walked by it, and then I think he tried to shoot it with a shotgun, but ran out of ammo.
Rocket and shotgun ran out of both and just backed it up, and he was just like, oh my god. But he shook it off. Here we are now. Looking forward to it. I think we saw Ranger on Cooler's side, and then what was the third champ?
BJ.
BJ. Yeah, so a lot of DPS, a lot of burst damage. Looking forward to it.
All right, well, gentlemen, it's our last semifinal. Please do it some justice. I know you will. It's Cooler, it's Kilson, and it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to see Kilson firing any blanks, trying to remove totems, but there's no totems in this version of Corrupt to Keep, so everybody's going to be feeling a little bit more secure.
Yep. As we get into it, guys, last semifinal, Kilson versus Cooler. Let's get into the game here as Kilson has that heavy on his Ranger.
Yeah, so
Cooler opting for Death Knight.
A small little bit of release there before heading in towards the rocket launcher, and Cooler's actually still holding down the side. I mean, if you get the first rocket launcher, it's kind of up to you to hold it down, even as your opponent takes literally the entire rest of the map. And even so, Kilson is having to make a decision between going against up a relatively soft Cooler or going to get his own rocket launcher. Looks like he's taken maybe the safer play. Oh no, he hasn't actually gotten a rocket launcher just yet. Trying to make this all happen with LG and Shoddy getting the drop on Cooler before he even realizes where he's at. Again, on his head, but not quite getting the frag.
What a fight there. Cooler just missing out on some rockets, trying to find the perfect midair here, and escapes with his life as Kilson opts for the shotgun. And Cooler stopping to contemplate his life. Kilson says, that's fine. Whatever's going on, that's cool. We could work through it together as a team. We can make it if we try, just the two of us.
Are we B2L, or is Cooler just rolling with?
I don't know. This is quite the big match to just roll with, but I guess it looks like they're working out their issues.
Okay. All right, so Cooler, a little moment of silence, but getting caught in the corner. Not a lot of damage out of Kilson just yet, but Cooler's definitely in the danger zone as we've got 10 seconds to Mega. And Cooler's still playing this corner. Very, very weak here. And just avoiding Kilson as he's looking to push back in. It's going to be a play back over to Heavy. Here comes the Dire Orb. It's not going to be committed to as Kilson secures that Mega. Here comes the trade for the Heavy, and Cooler should be able to get out of here without getting caught in too much of a fight.
That rocket almost chips away at Kilson here as Cooler taking it slow, moving out towards rockets. A little bit of machine gun exchange from the players here. Flame Strike is available, but Cooler opts to just hang on to this heavy machine gun, doing a lot of damage. Both players very hurt. Kilson will take the 225s, as will Cooler on the opposite sides of the map.
It's a bit of a game of chicken there, just because, yeah, we're both going to be taking damage from the machine gun. Who's actually going to show up to the Mega? But that also means that this Heavy is even more important for Kilson. He's going to get the pickup, and he's looking for an exit. Cooler not quite willing to dive down on the chase.
I like that orb. I think Cooler heard it and was like, okay, did you actually go that way? Kilson uses it at a bit of a distraction and goes to the banana area. And again, both players slowing it down before Mega comes up in 7.
2.5 minutes, 40, with no frags on Corrupt to Keep.
I like it. I like
Crazy.
it. We're going all 5 maps.
Buckle in. But we got Cooler looking for the opportunity with the LG, but he just cannot justify going through that door. Fortunately for him, Mega's there to recover on, and fortunately for Kilson, he can keep trading it with the heavy armor. This will get into a really dangerous tone if we ever see those items offset.
Yeah, I really like Cooler's usage of the Flame Strike, kind of just blocking off items here. And oh, the Dire Orb is committed to, but not a lot of damage here. Yeah, Cooler's using it to kind of block off pathways instead of that burst DPS and just zone out Kilson. As Kilson above him rains down rockets, can't find the damage though.
I do appreciate how Cooler had some real trigger discipline on the Dire Orb, just because, yeah, Cooler stopped firing completely, was just looking to see if he was going to commit through, which angle he was going to take. But as it stands, we're still looking at Mega and Heavy being traded, a real line drawn at the sand at the midpoint of this map.
Yeah, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and still no frag. There's Cooler slowing it down again. This Red Room grabs the 50. Kilson trying to snuff him out with Tribal.
This is the play right here. Cooler is sitting at this corner, seeing if Kilson is going to be sniffing around that Mega and looking for a trap, or if Cooler can sneak back over towards Heavy. This could just turn into a straight trade, as Cooler denies it and delays it for just a few seconds, knowing that the Mega is going to be the next thing back up. And so Cooler not getting caught there at all. Kilson had to realize what happened, but he doesn't have the detailed information on how Cooler's moving across the map.
Yeah, and we saw how Cooler delayed a lot of items against Toxic and kind of throw him off his game. I think he's trying to do the same thing here with Kilson. Let's see if we can stay in the loop on the items. 50 seconds until we head into sudden death. A lot of Tribal here. Cooler tries to go around the corner with a little bit of LG spamming some rockets. Gets in on the Mega. So this is where that delay comes in handy. Yeah,
the plan from Cooler nearly worked out, but Kilson actually played around it very well, realizing, hey, I can't go all in on the Mega and then get back over to the Heavy. I've actually got to like sneak back out and hope it's not delayed enough where Cooler can just collapse on me. Speaking of collapse, the damage is good and the Flame Strike finishes him off.
That is absolutely heartbreaking, as now 18 seconds and Kilson has to make a move to try and tie this up here. does have Flame Strike, Rockets.
Is that what that feeling in my chest was? I've already had a broken heart so many times today, but Kilson looks like he's going to be taking a loss on this first round in Corrupted Keep as Cooler just executes on a trap perfectly.
And that is unfortunate for Kilson. He's got to shake that off. I mean, that was just a really good play from Cooler to be able to drop on him like the Dark Knight and ignite Kilson. And he's like,
nice,
look at that. He's like, oh, jeez.
But Kilson was, still playing around that fairly well, breaking back out towards Heavy, but it was after coming back from Heavy where, again, he doesn't really know how to read how Cooler's leaving Mega. Turns out he never really left Mega after all.
Never really left it after all. Flame Strike up for both players as they start with DK.
And Cooler immediately going on the quiet. 10 seconds to either item. And again, Cooler's going to be fairly weak on the weapons, but caught with the LG on the jump pad, taking a lot of damage. Able to defend with the nail gun, but still Kilson now has priority on both items. Cooler potentially can drop down for the Mega if you really realize it's still up, but there it is. Great damage out of Kilson.
Yeah, and Kilson needs to follow this up and try and convert this here. 17 HP. Flame Strike preemptively comes out, but there's no tick damage, so none of the fireballs hit, and it's not actually going to block off his path, but it will buy him time, and he'll grab the 225s in Boneyard and the 50 armor.
But if Kilson's problem before was not knowing how Cooler's moving through the map, having to go to the 25s and the poverty items will essentially just draw a line and say, hey, Cooler's going this way. So currently waiting on this heavy armor, Kilson giving it up in favor of the Mega, but Cooler still needs a few 25s here.
It's got a good stack. Flame Strike down for both players still. Kilson will grab the Mega. A little bit of Tri-Bolt here. Does have time shards to get that Flame Strike back. Kilson will have his up shortly as well. Cooler moving in, might fight for this Mega. Heavy's going to be up first with a slight split.
Everybody's spamming mid with nobody going to mid. I don't know if I want to call that respect or just fear. As we've got heavy armor taken away by Cooler, once again trying to push in on Kilson, getting a little bit of damage off with LG and HMG, but it's still a Mega taken by Kilson. And as he's making his way back up towards the rocket launcher, he's going to be eating a rocket for full damage.
Yeah, that was a fantastic rocket by Cooler. Again, just not afraid to slow it down. Ooh, that spam rocket missing, so we won't have the information here. Cooler will sneak out near the Heavy.
He's still going to be hanging out, and Kilson's got to have the read. He's actually leading the Mega up a little bit more, crossing over, thinking he's done enough damage, and there's the Flame Strike for the revenge, and it gets him the heavy armor and the Mega at the same time. So it's not only a frag, it's a ton of momentum.
That is so unfortunate. Couldn't even steal away the Heavy there, and this is a big play from Kilson now as he has full control. Just trying to catch Cooler out from the spawn here as Cooler sneaks in to get a rocket launcher, but he's not going to pick it up just yet. Doesn't want to give away his position. We'll grab the 50 first, and now he will have rockets.
Yeah, but Cooler on that BJ coming second is always a good counterplay to, having been fragged. I'm going to frag you right on back, and you're not going to be able to maintain that control. But Kilson so far looking good as he's trying to push back in on the Mega, though. He's going to be eating a lot of this chip damage.
And now Cooler's going to be stuck behind this LG. Does have dual wield up, and it's so deadly with BJ here. He's going to opt to use some machine gun and spam towards Kilson. Kilson going to grab a 25 in the red room and just hold position on this Heavy here, which comes up in about 10 seconds. Could get the drop on Cooler.
Oh, that rocket gave away Kilson's position. I mean, Cooler was actually about to head up through the nail gun without even looking, but now he's going to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more cagey, but he's taking so much attrition damage from these rockets that I don't know if he can show up here. Even with the dual wield, yeah, that armor is going to go to Kilson, and I don't know if...
Just barely getting that Heavy, but it still could be his death. Luckily, it doesn't drop down into Boneyard, and is Kilson going to push this? He's going to eat some rocket damage, and Cooler will actually get the frag in Boneyard, and very, very lucky to grab that Mega when he did.
I can't believe it. I mean, he rounded the corner in time, but his LG was just a little bit shaky, and that's going to cost him, but at least he's able to take the frag back.
Yeah, and Kilson immediately on that Ranger says, here, catch this, and here's some shotgun damage. Evens it out, and we'll get the Heavy.
It was a good time to do that, too. I mean, he's going to have a little bit of time to recover. Cooler's now on his own Ranger, so he can't really do anything unless they get in a close range fight. But Mega's already going to be gone. I hope Kilson realizes that.
Orb comes out, takes it, and Cooler needs to be very careful. Kilson has an orb of his own, and the LG from Cooler will actually take down Kilson. Maybe a bit of an overcommit there as he tried to get that frag.
I think that's exactly the word. I mean, he was all in on that fight, and he didn't really have the stack to back it up, so unless he can use this BJ to very quickly compensate for the heavy armor taken by Cooler, then Cooler's going to take the round.
That was fantastic LG from Cooler, and you could see Kilson visibly upset at that. He thought the dual wield LG will pull through for him, but it didn't. Cooler takes him down 2-0 early on in Corrupted Keep.
All in 1 minute, we had a great read from Kilson with a little bit of shaky execution, and then a poor read of Kilson, followed up by some pretty good execution.
Yeah, Kilson has a lot of work to do now. As the Flame Strike comes out from both players here, the Rockets will go Kilson's way. LG again, as Cooler shotguns his way back to the LG. Now he's going to be stuck, though. Machine Gun's out, 87 health for Kilson as he decides to grab this 50. Did have 225s to go with, but he dropped down for time shards instead. Going to get that Flame Strike back. Cooler is above him, and Kilson hears him, just waiting, trying to pepper him with some Machine Gun.
Yeah, with that pickup, he's going to be rushing back over towards Mega. Of course, it's already taken, but he's hoping to catch him on the exit from the statue. And he's pushing right up into it, thinking, hey, let me get up close and personal with the Flame Strike. It's doing a little bit of damage here, but they're both going to be relatively low. Cooler can still take away the 225s at the Red Room. Kilson, same thing at the Boneyard. Coming back in mid-map, they're going to clash.
Yeah, just about even here. Cooler just missing up 50 armor, but everything is looking okay. They might trade items here as Kilson trying to snuff out where Cooler is. Won't get the information, but will get the heavy. So another item trade for these two players. Yeah,
so very similar to the early rounds here, where we've just had the item trades time and time again, but here it's this LG versus LG. We saw this a little bit before with the heavy machine gun, both of them just willing to take that damage, even though they know that they're both like equally stacked, they're both Death Knight. I mean, it's not only a mirror match with the champions, it's a mirror match with the damage as well.
Wow, that rocket.
Oh, no.
Kilson in a bad way here. 3 HP needs to escape. Cooler knows it, but he's not that healthy himself and will escape towards the Boneyard for the 225s and the Mega.
You know, not to brag, but I say mirror match with the damage right now. Kilson, 3123 damage. Cooler, 3121 damage.
You've done well. That's almost the same.
2 points off. All right, so Kilson waiting out in the Red Room, which is actually a common place for Cooler as we've seen so far. But it also, when you have the items both coming up at the same time, gives you a lot of agency to decide which way to go with it. Do I want to get aggressive when I hear him go towards Mega, or do I just want to take a safe armor, or vice versa?
Yeah, but as Cooler would say, you don't want to get too aggressive here, as Kilson will get in on
Would
this
he
Mega.
say that?
I feel like so? I've heard that before.
From
I
Cooler.
could have imagined it, maybe. Yeah. And Kilson, machine gun out, waiting for that exit from the telly. And Cooler doing a great job of just staying silent here. Will Kilson see him? No. We do see him on the X-ray. Will he have the benefit of peeking? He does. Can he get the literal drop on him? Here comes the fire and the flames and the rockets, and it will take down Cooler in the Red Room. Well played by Kilson.
You just freak out when you see a situation like that because you know the potential is there for the trap, but you just don't believe it's going to be executed well. But Kilson made every shot perfectly.
Yeah, took his time, made sure everything was lined up nice and tight.
And this was right after Cooler had actually opened Pandora's box on the map by delaying that heavy armor 10 seconds. He's still able to get the pickup, but by this time, Kilson will have plenty of time to get ready for this next grab of the Mega, and then maybe collapse on the heavy.
And the rocket play from Kilson, fantastic. The orb not good enough, does a lot of damage, but Kilson will survive with 19 HP and has 225s to work with. Cooler in a bad way here, does have Blazkowicz left.
All right, scratch what I said. This has the potential to actually get the items back in sync. But actually, no, Cooler is here at the heavy, expecting to find a fight, but Kilson's just going to take the safer way out and go get the Mega.
Lots of machine gun coming out from Cooler, uncontested here as Kilson had the rockets out. Gets a little bit of chip on that one, but still Cooler comes out the winner in that fight. The Tri-Bolt evens it up a little bit here.
Yeah, really good angles there from Kilson as he's looking for poverty items, but at the same time looking to stay a little bit incognito. You know, be a little bit more quiet because there's a minute and 10 seconds to work with and 2 frags in the lead. He needs a round. Like, he knows it's like he cannot drop this one.
Yeah, do or die, no need to commit to anything. Cooler, the onus is on him. He needs to figure out where Kilson is and get a good trap and try and tie this up with 2 frags in under a minute.
That's a tall order, but Kilson's going to be backing off here, back into what's usually like a very dangerous choke point to just be barreling through, but if you wait here, it turns into a very strategic and safe place. As long as you're tracking your opponent, you don't want to get the drop on you.
Kilson just moving so slow, very content. Just going to milk this clock and try and get this round on the board.
It's a milky clock.
He's going to get caught out at the Mega.
Oh, wow.
Maybe Cooler was the one that got caught out at the Mega as Kilson puts his first round on the board.
And we saw a lot of attempts at plays just like that where, okay, we've got even timings on the items. You're going to go to heavy, but I'm going to creep up on you and trap you there. It never really worked out, though. That's the first time we really saw that kind of, honestly, standard play go anywhere near according to plan.
Yeah, Worked well, and Kilson, you can see, visually happy with that. Fist pumping his way to his first round, looking for his second here as he has Cooler trapped over at the LG. A little bit of tickle comes out, and a little bit of the rocket damage comes out, but nothing doing for either player here. As
He was putting those rockets behind his opponent instead of on the lip, and actually Cooler was playing the edge. So obviously that I think Kilson could have gotten a lot more damage out, but be that as it may, it's still going to be even items once again.
Machine gun comes out, connects with a little bit, but the tri-bolt is not so bad on Cooler's end either.
Yeah, I like this from Kilson, looking for the play up the jump pad, still listening for Cooler to cross over through to the red room, and realizing, hey, once he's at the red room, actually from this angle, there's not a lot I can do, but I sure as hell can try to catch him on the out.
Kilson knows where he's in, trying to pin him in the red room, but he will escape here as he decides, all right, I need to figure out where this is and grab this heavy. He drops down, gets a little bit of tri-bolt.
Nice. Take the damage.
Yeah.
Cooler not quite wanting to drop down. And really, he doesn't have a reason to. He's going to be looking for... Actually, there's not a whole lot for him to pick up right now, so we can secure the mega side of the map and just hope not to get caught. But jump pads are a great place to get caught. Unfortunately for him, Kilson's Tribal doesn't quite do the damage, but the Flame Strike does. With 3 HP, Cooler surviving that first fight and first frag.
Very, very close, yeah. And they will trade the items immediately. Cooler needs to stack back up. Here comes the attack from Kilson. The LG so strong, 18 HP. He has the positioning. Can he get the shotgun blast? Is he working that edge and so close? And Kilson goes for the health, and Cooler knows it and fires that rocket, denying it.
I can't believe any of that worked out the way it did. Like, Cooler not dying for one, and then Kilson actually going for red room health. I mean, A, he needed it, yeah, but at the same time, Cooler, there was no way he was going to be able to put pressure on it.
Cooler very stacked now, and on his way to the potential third round to take this map. Kilson needs to figure out how to deal with this here as he has Blazkowicz. Does have LG, can dual wield his way to the frag, but Death Knight with the Flame Strike up is so deadly.
But Cooler also going back into checking all these corners. Kilson just walking through the door. There's the trap.
What a trap.
There's the rocket, and here comes the machine gun, whittling Kilson down, looking for the 225s at the red room, but he might just find a face full of Death Knight. No, he's still on the run.
Yeah,
he's
Cooler finds a face full of a rocket there as the defensive rocket from Kilson, fantastic, forcing Cooler to get the 225s. He's going to go in on this Mega. Could get caught out. What a rocket to the heavens, as Kilson will escape because of that, but 25 HP. The 225s in the Boneyard are gone. The machine gun comes out. Kilson down to 13 HP. Cooler on the hunt.
I can't believe Kilson survived that. I mean, he's stuck here, and that is going to be Cooler taking the round, taking the map. GG called. But yeah, that pop-up, and especially with Kilson looking straight down with his 2 LGs, he didn't hit any of that. He kind of needed to.
That was a weird angle of a dangle here, but Cooler with a good job closing this out 3-1 on the first map, Corrupted Keep. That was pretty much what we thought, right? Maybe a little closer. But
yeah, looks like they're asking for some liquid, feeling as hot as they look. And so are you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So it's a little hot in this jacket. That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, taking a look here at stats, we've got fairly standard things coming from the LG. And so I think this was less of a numbers game and much more of just, plotting out the traps, executing on them, and also getting those flame strikes in. I mean, it's bursty damage, but it's also damage that allows you to wait for the right moment, and it becomes all about execution.
Yep, and so important to make sure that all the fireballs hit, because the tick damage doesn't actually hit Death Knight, and a lot of the times we'd see DK versus DK. So the traps had to be perfect. We saw Kilson actually got a couple in, but Cooler got more.
I mean, fancy way to say hit more than the other guy.
Yeah, just hit more damage. Yeah. It's easy.
But if you can make those traps happen, the best thing is you don't take much damage.
That's also true.
And on a map like Corrupted Keep, that is of the utmost importance, doubly so for Awoken as we get into it here. So it's been a little while since we've seen Awoken on air, actually.
Yeah, I'm excited. I wonder if the champ picks are going to flip-flop a little bit. They could probably go with the exact same lineup, to be honest, but we'll see. See if they'll serve up some fireballs through that drive-through window.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Of course, we are going to see more Death Knight. But Galena is kind of a standard pick here. And without the Nyx, yeah, there's actually not a whole lot to worry about in terms of bringing out Death Knight, bringing out BJ. That really just makes them a little bit stronger.
Than yesterday?
Well, we'll get into it. But no Galena at all. Okay. So Ranger BJ, so again, a bit of a mirror.
Yeah.
It's a good call, saying that nothing was going to happen.
At least I got something right today. I'm sorry to hang. I'm sorry. F for
I mean,
respects.
I know
F for
exactly what that
respects.
feels like. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so as we're going to be loading up Awoken, a lot of this comes down to first spawn, and hopefully both of these players have had an opportunity to examine how the other plays off of these spawns, because, again, if you spawn Railgun, you just don't know what your opponent's going to be doing at all, unless you have some kind of historic knowledge.
I'm interested to see if they get the railgun spawn, if they're going to go aggressive and try and get that early rail off.
Cooler actually gets the spawn directly on the Mega, and so it's going to be a fight over the rocket launcher. But look at this chase coming from Kilson. He just doesn't care. Even the gauntlet comes out, but Kilson takes that frag. 64 HP. He's got plenty to pick up here. It's going to be days before those items come back up, so first hit from Kilson will be everything.
Yeah, fragging under 10 seconds here. The rocket's good. The flame strike is better, and 30 seconds in, Cooler's already down to his Blazkowicz.
This is a little bit of what Claus did to Cooler in terms of...
oh, don't bring that up. Did he hear that?
He's too busy playing. I'm sure he won't get up right now.
That's true. Well, if you get punched in the face, I'll try and protect you here as Kilson trying to protect this rocket launcher. Coming through. Anything for you. Cooler getting in on that LG, grabbing that 50 shard. Kilson holding T connection for control of the map. Mega will be up at 10. Armor shortly after.
Now, this is only the first minute, but we've got 2 frags up for Kilson. Obviously, he can't really just rest on his laurels and decide to cooler things up and try to burn the remaining 4 minutes, but taking away Mega is a good way to stay alive for sure. He's looking for the rail on the heavy armored exit. Not quite going to get any damage there, indeed, eating a few nails for his trouble.
Yeah, just taking it slow. Kilson doesn't have to overcommit to anything or rush anything. He's up in a great position here, forcing Cooler's hand to make a move.
We're going to be seeing Cooler on the Blazkowicz, so definitely somebody who has to be respected. But the tri-bolt out on this corner, yeah, Cooler just has to leave, but there's just nothing to gain from that. Let alone item timing on that Mega. I think Cooler is a little bit in the dark about how that's going to work out, but Kilson at the same time having a lot of trouble getting this damage in for free on the heavy. Yeah, the firewall comes up.
Oh, missing the rail, and Cooler will actually win that battle. And wow, he had him trapped dead to rights. Cooler gets away with one there as Kilson will actually miss that rail.
Kilson was really hungry for that frag, and now it could all turn against him as 2 frags just disappears immediately. So 2 minutes in, down to BJ v BJ. Cooler's going to be able to take away that Mega, but of course, Kilson's got his own BJ. There's the body block on the jump pad. Here comes Rockets either way, 2 versus 1. Kilson manages to turn it back around and take the first round.
And what a play. I'm sure he was terrified of there. He popped the rockets, and he had to hit the Glory Rockets, but got a lucky bounce when he hit the ground. That was very close.
I'm not sure you would use the word terrified. Yeah. Just activated.
Activated, yes, exactly. Just like when he hit that totem.
That was like a very sarcastic laugh from him, too. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Great, what a story. So Cooler coming right back in on the rocket launcher. Kilson diving back over towards LG again, taking away this small armor. But he's making so much noise, he might not be aware if Cooler's, sneaking around that corner, trying to make a fight happen. And when you're Death Knight v Death Knight, you just want to see all the flame strikes.
Yeah, Cooler trying to protect that rocket launcher, didn't get any damage off of it. Kilson got in there pretty safe and sound here as he's spamming all of that tri-bolt. He's like, I don't need any of this ammo. Get this out of my gun. I want to be lighter and run around the map more. And he gets in on the rail.
Yeah, I'm
nice
glad
rail.
Cooler doubled back when he did, because he was at risk of going through LG when Mega and Heavy were both coming up, and at the very least he turned it into a trade. So as they kind of clash here at top T, just looking for these rails, and Kilson has to be a little bit more careful here. I know the Railson is strong with him today, but at the moment he's only 25%, and honestly in that last round that nearly cost him everything.
Yeah, and the flame strike from Cooler, what a trap again. Jumping down, throwing the fire, and a perfectly done here. As Kilson will spawn in on that BJ. Wants that heavy. Cooler doesn't want that to happen. Dual wield is pop. The LG is very good from Kilson, but the trade comes out. So Kilson actually evens it out, but still a champ behind.
And of course, with both of them being fresh spawns here, with items still like, what, 15 seconds apart, we have the potential of seeing a fight happen at 1 item very quickly. This isn't like a fresh respawn where you have a fairly neutral playing field. But Kilson's still going to try to dig in his heels and get the grab for this heavy. Here comes Cooler, though. Orb on Orb. Cooler not quite able to get the armor, but he gets the frag, gets the round.
Great rockets there from Cooler to tie it up 1-1.
So I think we have a game here.
Yeah, I think they're playing a game. I think Cooler's like, what are you doing? You think this is your map?
I mean, we see long periods of inaction and just plotting and planning, followed up by just going crazy with the flame strikes.
Speaking of going crazy, Kilson going absolutely crazy, but Cooler will capitalize on that and get the first frag 10 seconds into the round again.
Yeah, which means that there's nothing for Kilson to really play for right now, and nothing to survive with as Cooler takes him down once again. Now, at this point, Cooler's going to be looking for all this banana health, nice and healthy, as the Mega's coming back up. But at 100-100, Kilson, he's got BJ, sure, but he's got only this last champion in this round, but he's really digging in his heels.
Wow. And yeah, I'm surprised Cooler pushed in knowing that he was going to miss out on the Mega. He could have backed off.
How much health did he have before the passive kicked in?
I don't know, but Kilson just goes up the jump pad and eats machine gun, and 2-1 immediately. A lot of fist bumps going on. I like it.
Yeah.
Also, you ever notice how the two Dire Orbs kind of make an Icy Hot logo when they cross paths? We'll talk about it later as we get into the 4th round.
I haven't used Icy Hot in a long time.
I'm old, man, all right? My body aches.
But not anymore, right? Thanks to Icy Hot.
Thanks to Icy Hot. Shouts to them. Cooler.
What? 6 seconds.
See what happens when we get locked in each other's eyes? We already missed the frag again. This is such a fast-paced map as Cooler gets the first one, hits a rail. Kilson wants to commit with that orb, and the rail again from Cooler, taking him down and barely surviving.
Doesn't switch to rockets, doesn't switch to machine gun, just rail at the close range, and now Kilson is down to his last champion with Cooler already up a map.
I think he's trying to get in his head like, yeah, you're Railson, I'm Rail Cooler. Ruler? I'm the ruler. I did it.
King K. Rool.
So Kilson getting that frag now, wants to try and establish control again. We'll miss another rail. Cooler goes through. Second one will hit. Cooler does have rockets at his disposal now. Kilson waiting by Tribal. Great initial rocket. The follow-up's good too. Now he has him trapped. Will he hit the rail? He will just switch to Tribal. And the rail. Well done from Kilson there. Good weapon switching. And now we have Blazkowicz v. Blazkowicz.
And that's exactly what happens with all of this plus forward and all of this aggression. You're going to be able to get the frags, but then you're not going to be able to hold on to the control to last the rest of the round. And we're looking for these rails coming out of Kilson. He's starting to really feel them 2 in a row. Misses the 3rd, down to 69 HP, waiting for that passive to pop back in. But there's the rail, taking the frag and making a full reverse sweep on that round.
These rounds are rapid fire. Absolutely insane. And Kilson missing a lot of rails, but he's hitting the ones that he needs to and ties it up at 2 apiece. We're going into the 5th round of map 2. And I can't wait to see a kill in like 3 seconds already. Let's see it.
And that's the thing about Awoken. I mean, depending on the route, you can just run into each other right away. Here it is. And this time, a much slower game, I think. We have, 10 seconds before the first frag instead of 6.
That's true. Just absolutely sandbagging here as the first frag is 10 seconds. Cooler again winning out on that one. We'll get these time shards. Kilson with a little bit of rock spam. He's going to commit with the orb here. Will he knock him off the map? It doesn't matter. He will get the frag regardless and even it up.
A textbook cross-up with the Dire Orb, as we've got now tied frags, and Kilson's still looking pretty good. He didn't take too much damage in that fight, but he has to give up the heavy armor. Mega's coming back up, and that orb is used to put so much pressure on it immediately, but Cooler could die here. Where's the machine gun? Shotgun even from Kilson would do the job, as the Mega goes to Cooler, keeping him alive.
Kilson looking for this rail through the... Ooh, barely miss it past that telly there. Re-up on rockets. Here's the armor over by the drive-through window, now spamming a rocket, trying to catch out Cooler. Cooler missing
trying to get
rail.
the read, yeah. Oh, but Cooler just dropping right down, just owning that armor, but
Wow.
Kilson owning the orb. And he's going to be incredibly low here. Fortunately, there's Mega. That's only going to keep him alive, doesn't give him much of an overstack. And that being said, Cooler still has a small stack advantage at the beginning of his BJ.
Kilson 1 frag away from tying the series here. Can smell it, but needs to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, Kilson needs to be incredibly aware of what's at stake here. We got some great damage coming out of Kilson with these rockets. The heavy's going to be up, and the orb is good. He's done it. He's tied up the maps. I mean, that might be one of the fastest Awokens we've ever seen.
Yeah, do these guys have planes to catch or something? Or are they like, let's speed this up here. Let's do Hyper Quake. And look at that. He's very excited.
Even
as he ties
going
it up.
into 5 rounds, I mean, those rounds just didn't last any time at all. But
Rapid fire.
part of that was just because every execution of the Dire Orb was effective. Every execution of the Flame Strike was effective. BJ was kind of the lame man in all those situations.
Yeah, look at the rocket damage from
Yeah.
Kilson. Absolutely disgusting at 2K.
And we're starting to see these rails come back in from Kilson, 38%, but again, not a very long map for that. So your opportunities are going to just expand as we go into map 3.
Yeah, going into Ruins of Sarnath. I'm looking forward to see if they're going to slow it down. It's a bigger map, but maybe they just want to keep rushing. Maybe they're into that. Maybe they're Russian.
Oh, geez. All right, that's the one that ruined me for the day.
I'm glad.
I'm tapping out, man.
It's always been my dream.
All right, so Ruins of Sarnath. I kind of doubt that they're going to be slowing this down at all. Once the pace has been set, I've seen both of these guys in action, present company notwithstanding, and it's just going to keep going like this.
Do you think the champs are going to swap? You think we're finally going to see a Galena?
On Ruins, it's certainly a tactical and strategic thing, but these matches haven't really been about either tactics nor strategy.
I will outdamage
Visor,
you.
though. Okay, and you have to crossplay the visor. Yep. Even though Cooler's got the ugliest visor ever.
What are you talking about? That's the best visor in the game.
It's got Christmas ham as a
Old
as
Buttface McGee, that's the best champion, and he's got that chicken tenderloin thigh. Delicious.
All right, let's see if Kilson also brings out the Ranger. I mean, yeah, do it because your orbs in your last map was just absolutely amazing.
Did we have like a gentleman's agreement between them? No Galena? Like, I thought Cooler loved Galena.
Yeah, I think part of it might just be pacing.
Yeah. Or the PTSD.
I mean,
Like
coming into
I
this
can never
tournament,
totem again.
I was just really thankful to see a bit of a repeat from QuakeCon last year where Cooler was just doing such a good job of going into hiding, you know, just totally ghosting the map, turning more into an Ecto Cooler, really. But here, it's just going to be plus forward all the time.
Yeah. Going into the third map here, the series is tied 1 apiece, guys. Kilson versus Cooler, Ruins of Sarnath. Let's see if it's going to be a bloodbath here. As Cooler has the stair spawn, goes up to Mega.
But Kilson's starting with Visor, and he went for the piercing sight immediately. It's going to be a bit of a late pickup of LG, but no collapse from Cooler, respecting the information that Kilson has. And Kilson up top is going to make that Flame Strike a little bit more difficult. Just trying to get these rails in on these angles, but as we've already seen, Kilson's rails on Ruins can be absolutely, well, ruinous.
That Flame Strike so hot. As Kilson burning alive now, and the damage ticking will tell Cooler exactly where he is. Kilson's still waiting, perched upon that edge, just edging, trying to get that rail out.
And he was actually sitting there like, yeah, I know you know that I'm here. I don't care. I'm going to go get this Mega. It's going to be a grab of the armor, and Kilson was still expecting Cooler to be down below. And Kilson actually waiting down below thinking, hey, there's no reason for anybody to be down here unless they're looking for a drop rail. There it is.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Kilson will grab the 50. He can make his way on over to Mega and try and cut off Cooler here as he makes his way towards T-Con.
Yeah, so the spam is out, so the information is going to be pretty equal. And Cooler can drop down for armor whenever he wants. Kilson knowing that, going, all right, cool, let's just make this a needle trade. But Cooler actually now has the ability and opportunity to delay that armor quite a bit. 10 seconds.
Yeah, so with that delay, that's going to allow him to attack this heavy. He has the timing on it as well as he was holding T-Con. You could hear the pickup, but Kilson wants to try and get this frag right here as he has him trapped. Kilson has to escape through lower. That rocket almost hitting Kilson in the face.
Yeah, really good usage of the Tri-Bolt to not only get a little bit of damage, but also get a little bit of a read. Cooler still manages to back out of there and escape. Still cutting Kilson off from the Mega, and now Kilson's got to realize, oh, dang, am I late? Oh, this is disastrous, actually.
Yeah, absolutely late to the party, but I think he heard at least the heavy pickup, so he should know that something is amiss.
Yeah, and he's also got to keep in mind that, well, guess what? Cooler's going to have 75 more health than you expect him to. Nice.
What a great rail.
Yeah. So Kilson just holding down this Mega, not wanting to let it go. But here comes Cooler with the Flame Strike and tons of rockets fighting over this Mega with the heavy armor coming back up, and that is indeed going to be a trade. Cooler actually taking enough damage at the top T to make it not worthwhile.
And I don't think Cooler has fired a single rail yet. Yeah, no rail, Cooler. And there it is. I've summoned it.
All you need is one.
A little bit of brown magic.
And that is actually going to be enough to make this next play a little bit difficult for Kilson. He's going to be approaching Mega from Nail side. Not always the favorite. Going to be spamming off with everything he's got, though. Just trying to invite Cooler in, but Cooler just rushes in, gets the grab, gets the Flame Strike, and gets that first frag off. And best thing for Cooler, that also gives him a neat pickup of the heavy armor.
Yeah, great flame strike there as he pushes in for the Mega. Now Kilson has the Ranger, so he might be looking for a Dire Orb back as he's waiting. He's going to drop down on LG, a little bit of tickle as Cooler escapes and doubles back.
Right, but what Cooler hasn't really gained from all of his play so far is this information on how Kilson is routing, and it's been the traps on Cooler that have been keeping Kilson in this game. And here's the trap, here's the orb. It doesn't quite go his way though, as Cooler can just train him down with the LG and shut him out.
Yeah, Kilson just playing outside that T-Con, went for the all-in. The Flame Strike comes out from Kilson, and the Flame Strike returned from Cooler.
Toasty.
Just all up in his face, burning his bones, going up 1-0 on Runes of Sarnath.
All right, so medium rare play coming out of Cooler so far. Let's see if he can keep it up as we go into the next round. But Kilson again, he's taking it in stride, I think.
Did he just wave to the webcam a little bit? He's like,
Yeah.
hi guys, sorry, that
Hey,
happened.
man. All right, so
Hello.
Cooler immediately eating a rail, trying to get some damage off, only 44 off that rocket. Kilson taking away heavy armor. And Cooler actually not having a whole lot to work with here. He still needs his own pickup of a railgun. If Kilson gets a read on that, he could put a lot of pressure on the rail room.
You could see him kind of trolling the T-Con, waiting. He's going to miss out on the opportunity. No, he won't. He'll hit the rail, and now Cooler's down to 26 HP. He's going to grab this 25, has another 25 down on the stairs. Doesn't want to risk the angle. He knows Heavy's up, expecting Kilson to be down there as he will opt for the Mega.
Ooh, I wonder if that was a gut choice there, or if he actually had any information to work off, because he could have, you know, taken away the stair 25, like you said, and shown up for the heavy, or doubled back for the Mega, and they were both risky, honestly. Like, he got the pickup, but Kilson could have easily gone back up top.
Yeah, Cooler might have gotten away with one, or is a brilliant genius, either one. But has 100 HP and no armor to work with. Now he's going to play really slow. Does have Flame Strike. Kilson does not have Vision.
And Cooler needs some insight here himself, as he's only at 100 HP, not a shred of armor to him. And it could be that both items are coming up, and Kilson has the ability to kind of check both. Cooler just sneaking through very carefully to go get that heavy. It's going to be worthwhile for him. Kilson still looking very well stacked.
And throwing that warning rail down there like, hey, over here.
You watch that. All right, so we got Cooler. Not really willing to move out of the heavy armor very quickly. There's not a whole lot for him to gain. Like, he could use some more rocket ammo, but of course that would be dangerous. But there's a rail from behind. Cooler not expecting it. And I'm actually looking more at Cooler's camera right now. Like, you do know that Kilson can collapse on you at any moment, right? And there goes the Flame Strike. If Kilson heard that at all, it could be trouble.
Stopwatch.
Yeah, Kilson should be trying to take advantage of this Flame Strike being down here, but Cooler doing a good job of just slowing down the game, staying away, staying healthy.
But with the visor in play, he can't do that forever. It's going to be very difficult here. If he can get the frag on Kilson and then pull shenanigans like this, that would be, you know, marginally better. With the bonus of being one frag in the lead. That's nice too.
Kilson popped in Vision. He has the data, but again, doesn't really mean anything unless you make the move on it, and he's going to do it so right now on the jump pad, but he's kind of looking the wrong way. The rockets are still good, though. Flame Strike comes out, and Kilson will capitalize on that play down at heavy armor.
16 HP, Mega's up, but I don't think Kilson can head that way. He's just going to have to go get himself some 25s, giving that Mega over to Cooler, who as a Ranger has already used his Dire Orb, so he won't be that kind of a threat. But as he picks up a rocket launcher, I'm sure Kilson's got to be concerned.
Wow,
Especially if he
what a
stays
rocket.
down here. Geez, get out of here. It's called a choke point for a reason.
Get off my lawn. Kilson has 27 HP. Cooler's going to push and get the frag.
That was just, I mean, Kilson needed the 25s. I get it. Oh,
Wow.
with the orb to cap things off on, on him there.
Yeah, that was just such a good... Oh, and the fire from Kilson now trying to make something happen, but unfortunately Cooler says, I got nail gun. What are you doing here? Stop that.
So getting trapped down at the Hourglass hallway with the 125, like, he didn't really have a clean exit. Like, they passed each other initially. So I thought he could hear the pitter-patter of little feet above him and decided it's time to either go really quiet or really not there, and he didn't do either.
But important to note, Cooler 1 round away from taking his second map in the series here. Kilson needs to dig himself out of this hole or just keep digging his grave.
We're digging into Coolers. We got Cooler taking away LG, taking away Rail, and a much more standard start here on Runes of Sarnath than we've seen from these two so far. But that also means that with the items relatively close in timing, it's a bit of an option select which way to go. So Cooler's going to be taking away Rocket Launcher, putting himself in position for the Mega, as we've got Kilson down below at the Heavy. But on the exit from the Heavy, things could get messy.
Cooler's just lying in wait by this nail gun here. Doesn't want to pick it up and give away his position. Just wants to see if Kilson's going to come up that big trampoline. Kilson just waiting, delaying so much.
I'm actually, again, surprised by this because Cooler is really great at doing this kind of thing when he's one frag in the lead. And, you know, his opponent is concerned about not only controlling the items, but also finding Cooler. But here, Kilson can play the clock just as much as Cooler can.
Yeah, what a great rocket, though, by Cooler now. And he can get his way in on this heavy. He jumps right over, and the rocket will actually push Cooler onto the ledge, and he turns around with the Flame Strike and deletes Kilson.
I wasn't counting. Did Kilson not have his own Flame Strike? Did he already use it?
I don't even know, but if you blink, you can miss the second frag as the LG closing in on Kilson. Could be curtains. He misses a rail, and I don't even think it would have done anything. Regardless, Cooler one frag away from taking this map.
And so far in Ruins of Sarnath, one frag leads to another, as Kilson is just floundering, looking for a way to collect weapons without getting caught. Cooler's going to allow him a little bit of a leash to work with. 3 seconds to heavy. Cooler not quite looking at it just yet, but Kilson's up top near the jump pad, but diving down would be dangerous right now. He's actually going to be, I don't want to use the word hiding, but waiting a little bit out here by the small armor, but the X is not going to be easy.
Yeah, this is looking worse and worse for Kilson as it appears he's drowning in a pool as Cooler's letting the bodies hit the floor here. The rail's out over by the nail gun. Is he going to jump up on the broken wall and try and attack this? He does have Flame Strike available.
Cooler again going back to that hiding spot. Kilson looking like he's waiting to set a trap, but he doesn't really have anything to execute that trap with.
Cooler getting in on the heavy. And the items are just in Cooler's favor. 13-5 in terms of heavies, 12-6 in terms of the megas, and it shows.
Yeah.
That rail will barely miss. The second will miss as well.
This whole time, Kilson hasn't been able to pick up a rocket launcher, and that is going to be a key missive when he's looking to play these corners.
Cooler just waiting, begging him to go through that telly.
He might even do it.
Like it's going to be real hot, I promise.
He's going to do it. It's got, you know, a couple minutes here to take 2 frags, but Cooler's just going to do the safer thing, go for the heavy armor. That's exactly what Kilson was banking on and really praying for. But with 3 seconds to the mega, it's going to be a clash. Kilson going, could I please have a rocket launcher now? Cooler putting so much pressure on it, and he says, rockets? Sure. That's going to be Kilson locked down, and Cooler now up a map, but a 3-0 series. What a decisive play on Ruins of Sarnath.
Yeah, that was exceptional by Cooler there, and Kilson
Okay,
just gets
he
trapped
did.
out.
He had his Flame Strike.
Did he fire it?
No.
Huh.
He had the trap.
Interesting.
He shot a rocket, which is great, which is nice. You know, well done.
That rocket bounce was unfortunate, because if he would have fallen Flame Strike downward, great, but it actually launched him onto the ledge. Then he hit him with the 360 no-scope Flame Strike, and
I could
brutal.
understand wanting to, you know, knock him down and then finish, but you're looking for... Anytime you get the drop on Cooler, it's very momentary. You have to go for that burst damage, and he didn't push F.
He should have. Would have been a great button, but
Yeah.
tried to knock Cooler down, but he got back up again regardless. 3-0 on Ruins of Sarnath. As we go into Blood Run, which will be Kilson's map pick, maybe he can slow things down. Maybe we'll see some other champs.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise Cooler's going to be our all-star moving into the grand final.
And we're going to have Rafa versus Cooler, potentially. And,
Potentially.
I don't know.
TM,
I don't know. I
like-
think that's happened before. I'm not really certain.
Terms
I
and
don't know.
conditions apply.
Yeah,
we don't know
I
yet.
have to go. I have to hit up Google and see.
So Kilson, again, a little bit on alert here, a little bit on blast, and going over to Blood Run. This could actually really work out well for Kilson. Cooler, again, his ninja abilities have been on point during the entire tournament. That makes him dangerous on Blood Run, but if we can see some good collapses from Kilson, well, he needs to right now.
DK auto-locked again. As a reminder, Nick's clutch out of the picture. Will we see a Keel, though? I don't think either of these players really like Keel. Maybe Galena.
Keel is great on Blood Run, but so far it's been mirror stuff.
Yeah, just no totems, huh? They don't believe in the power of Christ compelling
Guess not.
anybody.
Guess not.
Okay. Okay.
It's going to be a visor. Okay, so a lot of suspense for, you know, the same champ.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. This is fine.
And, of course, if Kilson can win this one, it will be Veil of Nath as a final map, and I couldn't be happier about that. And honestly, I want to see Kilson excel a little bit more here than he done on Ruins.
Yeah, I mean, he has to completely forget what just happened and say, all right, new map, whatever. New map, new me going into Blood Run because The performance on Ruins was a little bit subpar. That's fine going into this one here. Potentially the last map, guys, of this series as we go into Cooler versus Kilson on Blood Run.
Well, hopefully here Kilson can still prove that he's the master of getting mad and getting even, as we've got Cooler spawning up at the rocket launcher. I'm surprised he actually got the pick up there just barely. Some nice machine gun damage against Kilson as he takes away that Mega. And in the play for the Heavy, Cooler delaying it just a little bit, but still eating a rail in the most classic setup you can get on Blood Run.
Yeah, escaping with that rocket jump. Now just holding. Waiting patiently, wants to deny this rocket as long as he can, trying to catch out Kilson. And Kilson smells this, and he knows something's up. As both players playing very quietly now.
And we've seen this time and time again between these two on every single map so far, where the first round is just a lot of silence first, and then things tend to get a little bit more crazy. But Cooler, did he want to rocket jump up or into the teleporter?
We'll just say that he wanted the position on rockets. Fake rocket jumps, but I don't think Kilson bites.
No. He's not that kind of guy. All right, so Cooler coming around the corner, getting a little bit of damage off on Kilson, knocking him away from the fight for the Heavy Armor. But Kilson's still here, having getting that one rocket in. Certainly enough to justify sticking around, especially with Mega coming back up. But if Kilson wants that Mega, he's going to have to go through blue corner, and that might just be too scary.
Yeah, it looked like the Tri-Bolt was enough to pester him out of that corner there, and Cooler will get in on the Mega, go through the portal. A little bit of Tri-Bolt. The rocket's good. Cooler could have kept pushing, but decides not to. The Tri-Bolt again, keeping Cooler out. As Kilson pops through that telly.
But now Cooler knows that Kilson has used his Flame Strike defensively to try to close off that choke point. So Cooler actually has some momentum now that he can carry through. So one more pit stop for a Mega, and then Cooler's going to be on the warpath.
Kilson trying to pepper in with the Tri-Bolt here. And grabs those time shards. He will have Flame Strike momentarily. But Cooler looking very strong. Has a nice stack. Kilson working with the organic stack. Could use a little bit of armor, and he's going to head towards the recovery room right now to try and get some, but it won't be up yet.
Yeah, this whole time Cooler was thinking that Kilson would be making his way down towards rocket launcher. He's still in the recovery room, still looking for a way to get in on this Heavy. But there's a small armor taken in, yeah. In this version of the map, you can actually hear both armors get taken from either side of that wall, which means if you hear small armor get taken away, get Heavy armor right now before they can get around that corner.
Just such a strong stack from Cooler here. Can he use it to his advantage? Needs to catch out Kilson. Kilson giving away his position with a little bit of rocket Tri-Bolt spam. Does have Cooler trapped in the Batcave here. Cooler
Surely he's going to have his rail up at this point, right? No, he's actually going to be leaving it completely, going back up to the upper catwalk, trying to clamp off Cooler from coming around the corner. But there's that rail finally coming out of Kilson, as well as some Tri-Bolt over the ledge. Cooler, all of that stock immediately knocked down. Of course, there's plenty of health on Blood Run, but that Heavy Armor still going to Cooler. It's going to be a big fight over the Mega.
What a Flame Strike here, but the Kilson rocket is better and takes down Cooler 3 minutes into the round. That was well done by Kilson.
So the bulk of that damage was them just standing at across from each other with the Tri-Bolt, just removing each other's stack.
Noon. Exactly.
Yeah. So 8 seconds to Heavy. We've got Kilson coming back through the TP, putting some pressure on with the LG. Mega's going to be coming back up as well, but Kilson's not looking confident in sticking around for either. And Cooler actually playing it forward, taking over the Mega with the Dire Orb, just really trying to take things back here.
Yeah, does eat a rail for his trouble, but I believe he picked up both items, so Cooler looking strong, needs to tie this, has a minute 30. And this map does really lend itself to playing super defensive at this point. And Kilson has all the time in the world to play super passive and just kind of wait this round out.
And that's not the worst thing ever, really. But it's going to be Cooler still getting away with a pretty good stack. But of course, the Tri-Bolt can whittle that away very quickly. Oh, Cooler didn't actually get the Heavy at that point. Rocket jumping forward just to scare Kilson off. But Kilson can just hang out here in the recovery room and get fleshed out any side he wants.
Minute left now and counting, and Cooler might be waiting for one more item here that won't be up for another 20 seconds. Uses that Dire Orb offensively to try and catch him out, and now it'll be down. And Kilson's completely okay with that, as again, he's just waiting, hanging out in the locker room here.
And this is a decent corner to be waiting at as well, very similar to Corrupted Keep by the small armor at the Red Room. Either way they come, you can just run away out the other side and get some recovery items on your way out, but that will mean that Cooler will have a full rotation of both items. But we're at the point where going for the items means pretty much giving up on tracking your opponent.
Yeah, you can get a lot of information from that spot. Kilson hears Cooler coming, decides to relocate here. 20 seconds left. Can the Cooler find him? I think he may have spotted him here.
Yeah, Kilson didn't actually get the read on Cooler dropping back down the jump pad, so he wasn't expecting to see him going through the teleporter. But just that little bit of information is everything. Good Flame Strike, good Dire Orb to get through it, but the Rockets are keeping Cooler on his toes, and the fire
The
is
Rockets,
just a little too toasty.
so good, the Rockets, the defensive Rockets, and then he just let the fire do the work. And Cooler's got to be a little frustrated at that, and if that's the kind of game that's going to be played, Cooler needs to be ready to play it just like that. Get a frag and just play a little bit defensive.
He's done it before. He just doesn't want to do it with Kilson. But Kilson's going to get the spawn on Mega, actually baiting it just a little bit of footwork to get a tiny bit of machine gun damage off and deny the easy play through to the heavy. I mean, I want to keep harping on that because if he had gone out earlier, then Cooler just would have gone for the teleporter immediately. But that does create a little bit of delay between the items.
Kilson missing some rails there. Might catch him out. Flame Strike comes in early to close off that banana. Doesn't want to give up rockets. Cooler very sad about it. Doesn't have LG either, so he's going to drop down. Actually gets the Mega. Kilson with a little bit of damage on that. Eats a little bit of Tri-Bolt, and that'll open it up so Cooler can get some LG, possibly move over towards rockets. Tri-Bolt below. Fantastic. Kilson down to 40. We'll grab the 225s. He's like, where did that come from?
There's the play through the teleporter, but Kilson gets no information or damage off of the Tri-Bolt. So it's going to be a free heavy armor for Cooler. Kilson is trying to stay alive here, just trying to stay defensive with his rockets, but just cannot deal with the barrage coming from Cooler.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage, though. But Cooler has some recovery items in the porta potty to use, and that rocket from under the grate is fantastic, 16 HP now, and Kilson needs to play super aggressive to try and convert this.
I don't know if Kilson will realize exactly how much damage Cooler took from himself. Usually you just try to count the damage you're doing to your opponent, not the other way around. But
the rockets that just came out of Cooler were so phenomenal.
Popped
right
and
there.
locked.
And Kilson just needed like 30 damage, I believe, and couldn't get it, and Kilson survives that, and it's looking really strong for him on this round as Kilson's down to the Ranger.
Absolutely. So Cooler looking to collapse down onto this Mega, and with all the softening up from the Tri-Bolt, Kilson just goes straight up for it.
Yeah, that was a gimme. Are we playing T-ball right now?
Yeah, that was a round mulligan, but he doesn't have too many of those left.
Yeah. 1-1, Cooler one step closer to making it to grand finals. Kilson needs to keep his cool. Look at this play. These rockets are fantastic. Just well done, and Kilson doesn't like that at all. He's like, man.
Great impression.
Man, whatever, man.
10 out of 10. That's exactly what he sounds like.
Exactly. I actually studied him for months.
All right, so Cooler here, getting the pickup for Mega, and of course, Heavy's already going to be gone. It's interesting that neither of them are spawning with Ranger to make the Ranger orb play on the items, but there's some amount of respect there because, again, that means that a fight is just going to be happening right away, and we saw how that worked out on Awoken.
Yeah, the mobility on this map with Ranger is absolutely insane, but they're opting for the burst DPS, which is also fine. Cooler, rocket jumping up, grabbing Tri-Bolt, going back down to Mega. Kilson trying to make something happen here. We'll get the heavy.
And so with a little bit of a stack advantage, Cooler going to be staying fairly quiet at the rocket launcher. There's not a lot of items to play for at the moment. It's just about getting information, and neither player is really willing to make a lot of noise.
They're going to meet at this banana here as Kilson goes high.
Classic.
Gets a little bit of damage, and Cooler walking through Batcave again. Knows that Mega's up, wants to position properly for it. Is he going to drop? Kilson has the Tri-Bolt platform now.
It's going to be another trade with a tiny bit of spam coming out of Cooler, and that one bit of splash damage is going to be enough info for Kilson. But they're going to be trading these rails. And again, like, between the champion picks, the routing, the item control, and even the damage, this is probably one of the most evenly matched games we've seen all day, all weekend.
Yeah, both players with a lot of respect. Don't want to overcommit, which is the exact opposite of what we saw in Awoken. Cooler trying to troll this shotgun area here. Kilson waiting impatiently below, eats a rocket in the face, well placed from Cooler here.
Looking for the exit from the TP, not quite getting it. But it's going to be a trap laid down at the Mega. It's going to be a rail coming out of Cooler, but not quite the connection he needs. So he's going to be a little bit worse for the wear. Has to go get some of the 25s. But Kilson is also being very careful with how he's moving through the map as well. So he's going to be putting himself in a good position for collapsing on Mega or hopping up towards the Heavy. Either way, maybe even both, but Cooler is going to be there to gate check.
Ooh, good shots by Kilson there as Cooler gets the items, but you wouldn't be able to tell. As the Flame Strike comes back up in the recovery room, Kilson waiting patiently. Gets a little bit of
Great
rocket
rocket.
damage. Yeah, so he knows the information. Needs to be wary of Kilson pushing here, and he's just going to hold behind this TP and wait patiently.
Cooler's done this before where he's hit around a corner like this and he gets
Oh,
caught.
and this is going to be it right around the corner. The first rocket is bad, but somehow Kilson, the flame strike, takes him down. Cooler had the jump on him, but couldn't capitalize. And Kilson's going to be very happy with that. But Cooler, look at that. Great play from there, but the LG from Kilson could be fantastic. And Cooler with the tri-bolt
Mid-air.
takes him down. What is happening here? This is insane. And follows up. Kilson takes the Dire Orb over commitment. Didn't really have any other choice. And Cooler, in commanding fashion, takes 2 frags very quickly.
Well, the Band-Aid of this round has been ripped off, and again, Kilson's first rocket when he was surprised there, I think that was like a rocket
I was
because
gonna say
it was way off in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
It just immediately clicked, but that's what the Flame Strike was there for. Cooler back in on the heavy, getting denied completely and shut down. 1 rocket, 2 rails equals a frag for Kilson.
It was absolutely insane from Kilson and just what he needed. So we're going to have visor on visor here with 3:30 into the round. And we might be looking at a 75-minute sudden death here.
Somehow I doubt that. But yeah, you're right. Both of them having that piercing sight is going to make things a little bit difficult depending on the intervals. But Kilson's looking at a good initial stack. He's going to get that info. Oh, and Cooler, he actually drops. He drops the blue corner. That's going to be it for the round.
Gets the information. Well done. And yeah, Cooler didn't know any better. Dropped down and ate a lot of rocket. I hope he was hungry as Kilson puts up his 2nd round for this map.
I know you haven't done too many of these, but you've already developed a very good caster curse.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know, trying to fit in.
Really leveled up there. So we got Kilson putting some spam on the heavy, getting a little bit of damage off, and Cooler looking to drop down. Well, look or not, he made it anyway. Got the frag, and we're right back into where we were with Awoken, with all those 10-second frags.
Yeah, Cooler says, ready or not, here I come. Drops down. The tri-bolt will end it. And just like that, Kilson says, hello, and gets him with the deadly slipgate. And this is insane. 30 seconds. What? That was phenomenal. That rail was absolutely insane.
So with this heavy and mega taken by Cooler, he's immediately going to have a good stack. Not going to get caught out by any more plays like that, as Kilson is down to his visor. So all the burst damage is kind of removed from him, and Cooler just needs to use his own
so much
to make
nail
this fight
damage.
happen.
A minute in, I keep forgetting that Kilson's already down to his last champ visor. Cooler, so good on the refrag there. A little bit of LG tickle here. He's going to take that Dire Orb, but Kilson's already around the corner through Banana.
Kilson really needs to play this incredibly slowly. He's got 4 minutes to make 2 frags, and if he just does that one thing, then we can go into a 5th and final map. Otherwise, Cooler's going to take it all in. Right now, Cooler's taking all of the items. Not good for Kilson, but he's got time on his side.
Yeah, not afraid to Pac-Man absolutely everything here. Can Cooler catch out Kilson, though? It might happen right around the corner here. The rocket won't hit. The shotgun and rail will for Cooler as he pushes through. A little bit of rocket damage as Kilson spamming behind him defensively here. But again, Cooler will cycle these items. Everything is going to be all right for him. Tri-bolt comes out. He's going to eat a lot of that.
We've been here before, and it's not worth it knowing the amount of damage that can be taken so quickly. Cooler is actually nail jumping up to the heavy, eating a little bit of damage, 15 seconds before Mega comes back up, and Kilson might have priority on that. He's going to be back over at Rocket Launcher. Cooler looking for the drop down rail, but switching away maybe at the wrong moment. It's still good damage out of the tri-bolt, but it certainly isn't a rail.
It's super important to note that he had to nail jump for that. He still doesn't have rockets as he waits on this Mega, and now's his opportunity. And Piercing Sight is down from Kilson. He's waiting in the back hall.
It's a good point about him not having rocket launchers. So yeah, using the tri-bolt down that hallway not only is good for the damage, it's also good for keeping Kilson away, something that the railgun might not have been able to do. Well, now he's got rockets. He's got to be able to use them right. There we go. It's Cooler looking at a fantastic stack. Again, 1 frag in the lead, and I said what feels like ages ago now that Kilson's got time on his side, but that is quickly dwindling away as Cooler is taking yet another Mega.
Yeah, and it's starting to slump. 18-5 for heavies, 18-7 for megas in Cooler's favor. But regardless of that, Kilson is up a round, so Cooler trying to close out this one to tie it up at 2, and this could be it. And that push will put him at 2-2. Well done to Cooler, just out stacking and knowing when to push in with the LG. And we're going into round number 5. And can Cooler do it? Can he successfully fend off Kilson and make it to Grand Finals to face Rafa.
Yeah, Kilson is at this point now completely out of mulligans. I'm really wondering if this is going to turn into an early fight or there's going to be a little bit of trepidation based on the fact that, yeah, this is it. So Kilson with the fairly standard pickups here on this side of the map, not quite breaking over towards Rockets or LG just yet. Cooler, on the other hand, has exactly Rockets and LG, but no rail. So a little bit of a jump sound on the pad. But of course, Kilson's not even there, and we're seeing a little bit of that paranoia coming out of Cooler again, where he's checking every single corner like he was against Tox.
Yeah, very, very aware of the Flame Strike and the damage it could deal here. Cooler having full control, doesn't want to absolutely get melted by it. And I like the play. There's no point in throwing this all away. He's one round away from closing it out and getting a Grand Finals berth, so playing Paranoid, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you.
Exactly correct. And in this case, Kilson is after Cooler. He's looking for a little bit more health in the blood pool, biding his time. Kilson up top is he's going to have options, but no information. Oh, he has the potential to get the rail on Cooler. Doesn't quite go his way, and there's the orb. Oh, no.
And that was amazing from Cooler. The rail, the Flame Strike, and Cooler just rocket and Slipgate. And he's like, what are you doing here?
That was such a slow ball orb, too. Like, it was out for a long time.
Yeah, that was more of a softball, even. Cooler's going to drop down, gets a rail before the Dire Orb can be used, and Kilson takes it at the last second to grab Rockets. That could have been deadly.
Well, he's still on alert here as, I mean, Heavy's coming up, sure, but Cooler's going to be throwing down a lot of spam. He's got his own Dire Orb, which means he can throw it up towards the Heavy Armor and do a lot of damage, or just rocket jump up, no big deal. Kilson backing off, getting some good damage off with his own rocket, but he's got to be passive for quite some time now.
Yeah, I like using the rockets instead of the Dire Orb, but Dire Orb's so deadly, so he rocket jumps up. Ranger, of course, has that passive where RJs don't really do as much damage, and he still had that orb at his disposal if need be. But Cooler in that recovery room does have a champ lead as we are 3 minutes away from the end of this one.
So, of course, Kilson has to make something amazing happen, and starting off with the Mega Pickup will help. Or will it, as we've got orbs out on the field, and that can remove the stack very, very quickly. Instantly, even.
And I love that play from Cooler there, jumping for the heavy orbs out, so he takes no damage, very clean pickup. Misses the rail, but it's not a big deal here. It's Kilson trying to spam some Tri-Bolt.
And this is the Cooler I love seeing, where he's one frag in the lead, and he just goes full ninja mode. And Blood Run is a classic Ninja's playground. You've got Kilson trying to push in on this Mega. He really wants it, but he's going to get nothing but a face full of orb.
And so patient from Cooler there. Well done, and he is one frag away from getting into Grand Finals here. Kilson onto the visor, already popped the vision, needs to make something happen. 2 minutes left in the round. All the pressure's on Kilson to make something happen. Can he do it?
It's going to be Cooler again. Now 2 frags in the lead. So if he was feeling comfortable about kind of pacing things out and playing the Velociraptor game, then he's going to be extra comfortable now. But that rail is certainly going to make him wake up just a little bit, taking away that Mega, but now he's also been found in terms of his routing, so he's got to make some moves and get scarce.
And the LG comes out, the orb for the heavy, he's going to commit to that, and that could have been suicide as Kilson hits 2 great rockets, 31 HP for Cooler. He's going to disappear into the back hall, grab the 225s, needs to get out of here to spam some Tri-Bolt.
That was certainly a paranoia rocket out of Cooler, but it also told Kilson not to come around that corner and that the health had already been taken by Cooler. So another rail still coming out of Kilson. He's still swinging in here, but Cooler is railable. This is a nasty corner to be in. Yeah,
10
down to
HP.
15 health, yeah.
And Kilson has really turned it on now, hitting the rails he needs to. Here comes the chase. Cooler needs to be very careful. He's going to grab the 225s and back haul again. We're counting down to a minute left in the round. All the pressure's on Kilson. He'll miss that rail. That would have done it. But he needs to chase. He's running out of time. Grabs the heavy. He has the stack. He will miss the rocket jump, and Cooler is just completely fine with staying here as time is ticking away. And as each second counts down, Cooler smells Grand Finals against Rafa.
And here's Cooler sneaking back out of the plasma room. I mean, Kilson knew he was up there. It's just a matter of, which way is he going to head out? If I try to get aggressive, are things going to go south? But Kilson gets a bit of a good read and goes on a small chase, but has to break it off very, very quickly. Cooler disappearing back down towards the Mega. Coming through this TP could be a little bit dangerous for him.
30 seconds. Yeah. He's going to soak up this blood pool, and he's playing a great game right now. And Kilson can't make anything happen. He's going to get heavy, but it doesn't even matter. 15 seconds, and it looks like Cooler is going to be going into Grand Finals against Rafa. unfortunately for Kilson here, as he's trying to push, but with 10 seconds left, I don't think it's possible to get 2 frags. Cooler 5 seconds away, and Cooler has done it.
That is going to be it. GG's called as they both.
And that picture paints, that's everything right there. Look at that. Kilson with his head down, Cooler with his hands up in the air. And still a lot of sportsmanship. But
yeah, finally they're Cooler realizing that Kilson's actually in the same room as him.
He's like, oh, right, my bad. Sorry, good game, bro.
Another human being.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we saw some fantastic shots there all around, but a lot of it was just routing, baiting things out on the heavy and the mega. And, you know, Blood Run is always a great map for it, laying those traps, executing them. And we saw exactly that here. Blood Run played at the highest level. Kilson doesn't have a whole lot to feel bad about.
Yeah, he still does. He still does. But that's fine. That's fine. He made a valiant effort, but Cooler bested him. Jason, how do you feel about that series?
I feel relaxed.
Yeah?
Feeling
Did
good.
you learn from the best?
Cooler.
I'm learning from Cooler. You know, I feel very zen right now. But no, that was a great game, actually. That was a great game by both players. Yeah, actually. Not surprising, considering the caliber of players we do have in this tournament. I'm a little bit sad to see Kilson obviously fall at this stage of the tournament. He was getting better and better as time went on, but obviously so was Cooler. And Cooler in the end proved he was going to be better at this stage. But it does lead us into a fantastic grand final. But that's still a while away. We still have some time before that one. But let's break down this game here.
Not much time.
Yeah, not much time.
Close.
Soon. But I'm curious, like, what was your guys' thoughts about how each other was playing and how they read into each other to obviously counter things?
I was really surprised at how Ruins went 3-0 for Cooler. I just didn't expect that. I thought all the maps would be a little bit closer, but I mean, Corrupted Keep 3-1 in Cooler's favor. Just the rocket play was fantastic, catching him out with the flame strikes at the right time. Kilson had a couple good traps of his own, but as you can see from the footage, it was mostly the Cooler show.
Yeah, I mean, previously in tournaments, we've seen rounds that are very fast. We've seen rounds that are very slow. In this setup, we see rounds that go from, all right, 4 frags all in 30 seconds and then nothing for 4 minutes. And that has been kind of one of the hallmarks of this entire tournament. Cooler and Kilson typifying it perfectly. Awoken notwithstanding. Awoken was just absolute insanity.
Yeah. Hyperquake.
I was talking to Zoot during the game, and he was saying something that I can't fully repeat on air, but he was saying it's a measuring contest between these two.
You can paraphrase, yeah.
Yes.
And how they were just constantly trying to outprove the other one and outskill the other one.
Yeah, shoe size, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's told me that story before. Sure.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
And we know Cooler loves shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he definitely does, and his tracksuits, as we've seen over the course of the years. But I'm still, again, sad to see Kilson go home. But for me, also, it's great to see that Cooler, who's one of the hardest working players when it comes to Quake, once we started having more online tournaments happening this year, he was on the grind, and he grinds nonstop for 15 hours a day, it seems like, if not more than that. So it's good to see that all this hard work and preparation coming into this tournament has finally reached that fruition and has gotten to his first grand final here.
And major credit to Cooler, because usually you ask the question about players, you know, are they better at the +4 go fights, or are they better at kind of, you know, taking things in the backseat and being a little bit slower? And the answer for Cooler is, yeah.
That rocket play from Cooler right there in that recovery room was absolutely insane, dodging Kilson's rockets and somehow popping them up. It's just, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this grand finals, man.